This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media and the Rule Classroom, sponsors of the 2025 Natural Resources Investment Symposium, held July 7 through 11 in Boca Raton, Florida, via live stream from the comfort and convenience of your own home. A couple things, actually several things you need to know about the conference. The first is that we will be presenting well over 50 hours of very dense but very valuable programming in the 4 days of the conference. That's more programming than you'll be able to absorb. And to that end, we will record the entire proceedings, and you will have, whether you attended live or live stream, access to those recordings for a full year. And you're going to need them. As I say, we're going to present you more material than you can possibly absorb. Further to that end, before the conference even takes place, I will interview every speaker and every exhibitor at the conference. By participating in the conference in the 6 months that precede the conference, you will be able to allocate your time and, more importantly, your financial resources much more efficiently in the 4 days of the conference. Further, you need to know that every single public company exhibitor at the conference has been vetted. Unlike any other investment conference in the world, if we don't own shares in the exhibitors, they're not allowed on our exhibit floor. The truth is that we turn down more exhibitors to the conference than we admit. The high quality of our speakers and the high quality of our exhibitors lets me make a very unusual pledge to you. If for any reason, whether you attend live or live stream, that you don't believe that you got your money's worth from the conference, we will refund the money. This is the only investment conference in the world that I know that offers an unconditional money-back guarantee. Remember that you get out of it what you put into it. Listen to the pre-conference interviews, determine who you're interested in, reach out to those people before you arrive at the conference so that you can use your time at the conference more efficiently. So let's begin the process. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing, Ms. Alexandra Sherron. I have been a shareholder of Alexandras for quite some time. And I want to say, first of all, Alexandra, thank you for decades of toil on behalf of mining investors, particularly myself. And thank you, too, for your ongoing sponsorship and support of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Thank you so much, Rick. We are so excited for the conference in July.
So what I want you to begin with is telling us a bit about who you are, your past successes in mining, and to be frank, establish the credibility that will allow people to listen to your answers to my nosy questions with interest.
Thank you. No, I started out in the mining industry when I was 14 years old at Endeavor Financial. It had just been launched. And, I was head of research, aka I was going through the yellow pages and calling up companies and asking them to send their annual reports. As they would come in, I'd file them in. And that was what research was way back in the day before a lot of obviously technological changes. I then went on to university and I did my business degree in entrepreneurial management. And as I was reading through the Forbes top CEOs, I quickly realized that most of the top CEOs that I was interested in and how they built their companies came from a finance background. So I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers right after university. I joined on the mining floor, which was right around the time of BRIEX. So everyone was jumping off the mining companies, going down to the dot-coms, which gave me a lot of opportunity within the mining department of PricewaterhouseCoopers to get involved in the analytical work, the BC Mining Survey, at a time when companies were really, really struggling. So that was a really interesting exposure, and I really enjoyed the financial analytical portion of it. So I joined Endeavor Financial as a junior analyst. At the time, we had a natural resource fund, so I would sit through the presentations. In those days, it wasn't, high resolution PowerPoints or videos we were seeing. It was bringing in the core samples and going through that. Eventually, I ended up going over it and being part of opening the London office for Endeavor Financial. And then I got involved in the structured finance side of the business, which I really enjoyed. Some of the early clients that I worked on was Kupal, which we did the first project financing into Russia back in the day. Many other corporate facilities, one for Wheaton when that was still around. So, I have a long legacy and history of being involved in structured finance. It's sort of in my DNA, mining and finance. And that really is I teamed back up with David Rhodes to launch, who's the managing director of Endeavor Financial, to launch Empress. Endeavor Financial was, started by my father. David Rhodes took it over as the managing director, as I mentioned. And they've done over $8 billion worth of project finance deals. They've been very actively involved in the space for over 30 years. So it really is using the concept that we saw. And the reason why I love the company is that we were seeing that there was a niche in the market and no one was providing the streaming finance solution to the junior side of the market. And that's how we set it up. And we've brought together a lot of the old team from Endeavor Financial to build this, and we're just getting started.
So tell us what Empress is, and tell us why you believe you have definable competitive advantages relative to other royalty and streaming companies your size.
So we offer investors a strategic approach to investing in gold and silver. And when I say that, we're a royalty and streaming creation company. So we directly invest into mining companies, giving them the capital they need to expand production or get into production. And we're really leveraging off our expertise as from mining structured finance backgrounds, but also our network. And that comes through Endeavor Financial, seeing opportunities, knowing what needs financing, understanding the management teams, and then providing that financing solution. And that's where I think we're quite different from a lot of the other companies. We're not buying existing royalties. We're not looking at exploration opportunities. We really are targeting ones that will bring immediate revenue into Empress, which we can then redeploy in the portfolio. And it really was Endeavor, especially David, seeing that the streaming companies are doing $100 million plus, and that the junior side of the market could use this rather than an alternative streaming finance solution. It could become a mainstream finance solution for the juniors. So there'll be some debt, equity, and then a stream attached. Sorry.
No problem. Take me through the current assets in Endeavor, or pardon me, in Empress. And if you would, give us, to the extent the law allows, some feeling about what the net present value of that collection of assets is relative to the market cap.
So we have 4 key assets. They generated about $8 million US in revenue in 2024. Our forecast was $6 million US, and we did $8 million in revenue just on those 4 key assets. I'll give a quick overview on all of them. And again, we'll be at the conference and I'm available to talk to anyone on a Zoom at any point to give a lot more detail and color, but just recognizing we have a limited time now. We have the Talahueto Silver Stream in Mexico owned by Luca Mining. That has just hit commercial production. That will be increasing our revenue for 2025. We have the Galaxy mine in South Africa, which we invested in last year. That's a gold mine. We're getting the gold credits in now. That production will be further increasing our revenue in 2025. We have the Manica Gold Royalty in Mozambique. We invested $3 million. We've already received $4.5 million US back from that initial investment. And we have another one that was actually our first producer, which is the Cerro Antipite mine owned by a private group in Peru. We invested $10 million, helping them expand production, and we've received about half of that investment back to date. So, we do a combination of royalty and streams, mostly streams. We like streams because it allows us to receive that direct gold and silver credits into our Bank of Montreal account. And obviously we're very strong, we're very bullish on where gold and silver are going to continue to go. It allows us to start holding reserves in gold and silver as well. But I think our business model is quite unique because it really is leveraging off our experience, our expertise, our network to provide these financing solutions.
And are you free to say anything about estimates as to what the NAV of your current portfolio is?
So our current portfolio net asset value is about $68 million in revenue US, and that's using conservative pricing. We are forecasting about over the next 5 years, cumulatively over $78 million in revenue, just on those 4 investments, if we did nothing else. And our market cap's roughly around 35 million US. So
and theoretically, you will be able to reinvest those proceeds to further grow net asset value.
Absolutely. So we've got the proceeds coming in now. We're building up a cash reserve. We also have a $20 million facility available from Nabari, which we are very actively looking to deploy. We did put a press release out that we're looking at one in the US and advanced discussions on that. It has to pass DD. Again, we're all large shareholders in this company. So although we do want to deploy the capital and grow the portfolio. I've got 4 stable sources of revenue now. I'd like to get to 5, 6, 7, 8. They have to be the right deals. We go through a rigorous due diligence process. We're very fortunate. Our technical advisor is David Lang, who's had over 40 years of experience. He originally was the CEO of Endeavour Mining, Equinox. He's the chairman of Fortuna. He's, still a very active member of Endeavour Financial, doing all of their technical reviews for their clients. We go through a rigorous due diligence test op review. We do the financial analytical review. We offer terms if it makes sense. We hire third-party engineers who are specific to that project. If that all stacks up, then it'll become an investment. But it's definitely a lot of lifting that goes into these investments. I really do want to bring new assets into the portfolio this year. So, we're forecasting to double our revenue in 2025 just on the existing portfolio. But I'm very hopeful that we'll bring new investments in and really show that we can grow this company and create that critical mass.
Thanks, as I say, for a long career, despite your relative youth in mining, and your sponsorship and support of our symposium. Tell me, to the extent that people are interested in finding out more about Empress, specifically who they contact and specifically how they contact that person.
Please contact me. My email address is alexandra@empressroyalty.com. My cell phone number is 604-218-5030. I am generally available unless I'm underground at a mine site doing a site visit. So please reach out. I am incredibly passionate about what we do. So is the team. I'd love to introduce everyone to more of the team as well. Our website is empressroyalty.com. We have a pretty active media channel on YouTube. Rick, you and I have talked before and done some of the workshops there, and some other amazing people we've done panels with, and things are available online. But I'd love to talk about the company, so please reach out to me.
Thank you again, Alexandra. I look forward to hosting you in Boca Raton, July 7th through 11th.
Thank you. I look forward to being there as well, and seeing a lot of our investors who we've met through the conference and continuing those conversations and hopefully meeting some new people as well.